Right now, dietary advice is caught in a severe feedback loop. Browse any wellness feed, and you'll see saturated fats like butter rebranded as natural superfoods, seed oils demonized as toxic sludge, and olive oil idolized as liquid gold. This chaos exists because popular nutrition often emphasizes short-term markers. The internet argues endlessly over post-meal blood flow or temporary inflammatory spikes, but these are shifting variables that don't always track with long-term disease. To find a more reliable signal, we have to look at a specific biological metric, the ApoB-containing lipoprotein. ApoB is the structural protein that wraps around atherogenic cholesterol particles and carries them through your bloodstream. To determine which fat actually supports health, we have to look past the branding and evaluate how these lipids change our circulating ApoB levels. To see why that metric matters, we need to zoom in past the plate, past the digestive tract, and look directly at the microscopic environment of the human arterial wall. Atherosclerosis, the formation of plaque, initiates in exactly one way. It happens when ApoB particles physically penetrate the cellular lining of an artery and become lodged in the space beneath. This is a physical accumulation of material. It is a structural injury, internally different from the transient vascular markers often used to suggest a food is harmful. Because this process is driven by the volume of particles, cardiovascular risk is a numbers game. If a dietary fat lowers your circulating ApoB, it reduces the building blocks of plaque. If it raises ApoB, it accelerates the disease. Let's put saturated fat through this test first. The interaction that determines our particle count happens in the liver. High intakes of saturated fat cause the liver to downregulate its LDL receptors. These act as exit doors for cholesterol. As they retract, ApoB particles have nowhere to go, creating a traffic jam. Swap to polyunsaturated seed oils, and the liver's response reverses, increasing receptors that actively pull ApoB from the blood to clear congestion. We see this mechanism confirmed across massive datasets. Network meta-analyses pooling over 50 randomized trials show that replacing butter and saturated fats with seed oils consistently drives down circulating atherogenic lipids. Substituting seed oils for saturated fat actively clears particles from the blood, directly reducing the biological driver of heart disease. But what about the argument that seed oils drive chronic systemic inflammation? The claim is that their main fatty acid, an omega-6 called linoleic acid, floods the body with pro-inflammatory compounds. This funnel shows why that chemical theory fails in humans. When we consume linoleic acid, the enzymes required to convert it into inflammatory arachidonic acid form a severe bottleneck. Only a tiny fraction, between 0.3 and 0.6%, actually completes the conversion. There is one caveat: thermal degradation. Repeatedly boiling oil for days in commercial deep fryers does create toxic oxidized byproducts, but those toxins are a result of extreme heat abuse, not a property of the fresh oil itself. In controlled human trials, increasing fresh dietary seed oils produces no increase in chronic inflammatory markers. The reputation for toxicity is built on abused frying oil, not the biology of fresh fats. Next, we evaluate extra virgin olive oil against the ApoB standard to see how its reputation holds up in the clinic. This chart compares the lipid-lowering efficacy of different plant oils. Because olive oil is predominantly a monounsaturated fat, it actually lowers ApoB and LDL cholesterol less effectively than polyunsaturated seed oils do. Olive oil is famous for its polyphenols, which show mixed success in improving temporary vascular markers. Yet across all randomized evidence, no trial has ever proven that consuming olive oil alone prevents heart attacks better than other unsaturated fats. Olive oil is a healthy substitute for butter, but when we measure by hard clinical endpoints, it possesses no unique cardiovascular advantage over standard seed oils. Both seed oils and olive oils do share one valid physiological concern. They are mechanically extracted liquids, stripped of their natural packaging to become highly bioavailable, calorie-dense ingredients. To see the alternative, we have to look at the whole food matrix. This is the physical cellular architecture of an intact plant, like a raw almond or a whole olive. In a whole food, intact plant cell walls and dietary fiber act as physical barriers. They actively resist digestive enzymes, slowing down how quickly your body can access and absorb the fats inside. Because the digestion is controlled, consuming intact nuts yields a smaller post-meal triglyceride surge. Over time, eating whole tree nuts can directly reduce circulating ApoB compared to drinking the exact same amount of extracted oil. Starving the plaque equation of its primary fuel means replacing saturated fats with unsaturated versions, and whenever possible, choosing fats still trapped safely inside a whole food matrix.